hopefully in your sketchbook you've practiced a few different ideas, depending on whether or not you're going to do your name or some sort of geometric or organic pattern with shapes. You are going to go ahead and decide, do I want to draw from the large side to the small or from the small side to the large? It doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and do my name. And one thing I really love to do that I think adds to the design is have each letter touch the top and the bottom in some way. You don't even have to close off the letters. And what I mean by that is if you keep them shapes, like bubble letters, like here's an M, it's gonna be McGrath. Okay, and I'll go ahead and I'll do a small C, but I will still have the bottom touch. I'm gonna have to fit the rest in there really good. All right, so here's my second capital. Of course, the G. It's gonna run right into the C. And you can have letters overlap or whatever, but again, you can always practice this plenty of times in your sketchbook before you go ahead and put it on the paper itself. I'll do a lowercase r just to mix it up, and a lowercase a, and then a lowercase t, and then a lowercase h. Oh, that's going to be tiny, but it'll look amazing. Okay, and there we go. My next step would then be to use a black marker or a Sharpie to outline the letters themselves. Okay, go ahead and do that all the way through so that it's nice and dark along the edges of where you drew. And after this, your next step will be to trace. Once you've traced your letters with the black marker, you're going to want to go ahead and open up your circle halfway, okay? And your very first tracing is going to happen on the other side. Now, if you look closely, you should be able to see through to this pie section. But if that's difficult for you, there's two things you can do. You can go to a window and you can hold this up to the window itself, and you will be able to see through the letters to trace what you see, okay? Or this, of course, is the back. If you want to, you can go over the back a second time. Or I should say you're going over the back the first time, but you're tracing the same area a second time. And when you do that, it should make it a little bit easier to see when you fold your paper over it. Okay, so basically it'll be, this is the front. Now, it's probably hard to see in this video, but where I have traced it a second time, I can see through a little bit better there, the MCG part. So basically, you just continue doing this. Tracing the original design that you made. On this second pie piece here. I'm only going to go as far as the G for right now, and I'll open it and show you how this is looking so far. It should be an exact symmetrical version. If you ever have a hard time too, you can always lift it. There we go, I can see now. There. So it's looking really neat already, and you're creating these really unique shapes here, these triangles, these half circles, all of these great things. You can see how fun that'll be as we get smaller and smaller toward the radial center. Okay, so just go ahead and keep tracing this next pie piece. Okay, now that my first two pie pieces have been traced, what I want to do is open up my circle all the way, and then use this line here as your center line to fold. Okay, and now you're going to take this same design and you're going to trace it here, going over the lines that you made. one thing you will notice, and this is correct, every other pie piece, your name will be reversed, okay? And every other pie piece, your name will be written the correct direction. Okay, so go ahead and trace those. Goes all the way there, and so on. And you can go back and forth if you want. Like, I like seeing this come together here, the triangle. And you know that's correct. You saw it on the ones before. And so on. Okay, now that those are traced, when you open it, it's pretty cool. You'll see that half of your circle is done. Okay, now we're going to trace one last time. So turn, this is probably the most confusing one. This is now going to be your middle. Okay, it's diagonal through the two sections, I guess the 4 sections that you finished like that. There we go. So you should be able to see through here to trace it. Again, hold it up to a window if it's difficult, or retrace the back. And then over here, and you just continue doing what you're doing to finish it. It should all come together, and of course it'll be amazing when they're all done. Okay, now it's time for the final reveal. Don't worry if you have little spots like this. That's gonna happen. It's never gonna be perfect. You can always try and touch it up with a little bit of line quality. There we go. I love it. It's awesome. Now, anywhere you see openings, just go and connect. Okay? It is okay if it's not 100% perfect. It's gonna look great. Now you can start thinking about your color scheme.